I'm her first boyfriend, first husband, obviously. Cut that out.
I'm the youngest of 4, and I would say I was pretty outgoing, but still reserved and laid back. Active, grew up on the farm, very family oriented. We are always doing stuff as a family, I feel like.
I was considered like an old man as a kid, I guess. I just wanted to get going with life and was tired of school and ready to get a job and work and find someone to marry and all that stuff, I guess.
Like, all my friends were boy crazy, or most of them anyway, and I was the one that was just like, I don't really care about guys right now. And actually, AJ is my first boyfriend.
At first, I didn't meet her in person, but I heard a lot about her from her family. So her dad did the sheetrock in my house as we were remodeling it. Well, then Jocelyn's mom, Julie, would come by in the afternoon. She wanted to know who I was and how old I was. And so then one day she kind of mentioned something like, oh, well, we have a daughter that's a year younger than you. And I didn't think much of it. I was like, that's cool.
She was always trying to set me up with someone, so she would be like, you should add this guy on Facebook. The first time I met AJ was actually really interesting.
So there was a big rainstorm in May of 2020 in this area. Just with my job, I was flying a few of our local customers, farmers around looking at their crops. That way they kind of had an aerial view of what was going on. In doing so, I noticed a lot of Jeff's ground. He had cows on different sides of the creek and some fences washed out and things like that. And I was kind of thinking, wow, he deserves to go see this stuff too. So I sent a text message to him and he replied something along the lines of, can I bring someone? I said yes, assuming it would probably be his wife, Julie.
So my dad and I went, and my dad was like, this is my daughter Jocelyn. Seemed very mature for his age, I would say. Really good communicator, and that's one of the things that has really attracted me to him. He can talk to anyone.
Well, she didn't do too much communicating. I guess I had to. And Jocelyn said nothing the entire time. She was just sitting back there. My kind of impression that I thought of as I went home that night, I guess, was oh, she's definitely really pretty, good looking, and I knew she was nice. And at that point, I had been friends with her on Facebook.
That night, I messaged him on Facebook. So then we started texting, and then
basically since that Facebook message, we have never quit talking. We just kind of rolled that into one thing into another and started talking.
it was 2020, so nothing, couldn't really go anywhere. So we would just go out to the runway and walk. That's kind of what started our whole relationship and how we got to know each other. We didn't jump right into things. We took things slow, and that was just a way of getting to know each other in a fun setting. You know, there weren't people around or anything. We were outside. We liked being outside, and we would also stargaze on the runway. We'd sit in a hammock and look at the sky.
Yeah, Jocelyn Grable. So if I were to describe her, I would obviously call her beautiful, super hardworking, you know, not afraid to sweat, not afraid to work, and really resilient.
If I describe AJ in one word, it would probably be dependable. He's a great listener, and I think that's what makes him such a great communicator, is because he listens very well. So it's actually kind of embarrassing. He actually asked me to be his girlfriend July 2nd, and we went out for supper, and then we went back to the runway, and apparently like the day before he sprayed for mosquitoes for me, sprayed the runway. The weather was beautiful, like the stars were all out, like the setting was just perfect, and he had all this planned, and I was just like there.
Everything's just like perfect. I asked her, so what do you like kind of think about dating? You know, what's your take on that? And I was hoping she'd be like, oh yeah, you know, I have kind of thought about it too. It would be nice. And then I would ask her like, well, do you want to be my girlfriend? So I asked, what do you think about dating? And she's like, I don't know, like, I just never really been the dating type.
I think he was thinking like, oh gosh, I think this is kind of like, I'm gonna stop talking to her maybe if she doesn't want to date me. It's kind of funny, but it's really embarrassing for me because I kind of just, that went right over my head.
Anyways, she brought it up, I think, like, oh, so what were you talking about last night? Being a girlfriend or dating or something like that. So I kind of told her again. I was like, well, would you want to do that? And then she said, yeah. It was the marathon. It took some time. She had to sleep on it. She wasn't quite sure. I don't know if she had to like consult some of her friends or something first. I don't know, but it's like, oh, finally we got here.
I knew AJ was the one when I saw how well he fit in with our family. And I was like, oh wow, like this really is it.
It like clicked on me. Like I had a smile. I was just driving along like smiling. And I was like, yeah, this chick's pretty cool. Like this is awesome. Julie and Jocelyn are inside, and I asked, Jeff, I kind of have an important question for you. And I think he knew like right away. I said, well, I was wondering if, I have your blessing and your permission to ask Jocelyn to marry me and to take her hand in marriage. I think, I don't remember like quote what he said, but I think it was a definite yes. It wasn't like, well, I'm not sure.
I was putting my outfit on, I thought we were going out to supper and to a movie afterward in downtown Lincoln. He was like, are you coming? Like, you need to get going.
Jocelyn's taking forever to get ready. Taking forever. I'm like, come on, we gotta get going. I got all this stuff planned.
So anyway, we get down the road a little ways and he was like, Casey needs help putting a bowl in. Casey is his brother. And so I was like, okay, because that's nothing unusual.
The plan was to go to my grandpa and grandma's like, hey, we gotta check this gate real quick, get on a four-wheeler, which me and my brother had like cleaned spotless that day. This four-wheeler's ready to go. Time's going on. I'm like, we don't even have time to go to four-wheeler. So we're driving down the road. This is what gave it away. In the moment, she didn't act like it, but then she said, and I was like, oh, obviously. I just go driving through this pasture, my good pickup, and that's what she kind of thought was like weird.
We started walking and he grabbed my hand, and then that's kind of when I knew it was gonna happen because I saw a rug and it was by this really pretty tree, like all by itself. And then he got down on one knee and proposed, and Casey was hiding, taking pictures of us. Afterward, we drove to Carrie's restaurant in McCool Junction. He had the dads bring our moms to Carrie's too. And then AJ and I showed up and we were proposed, but only the dads knew. So I just loved how he had both of our families there. I thought that was so special, and he did a great job.
Jocelyn, we've made it to our big day. We're married. I'm really excited to build a lifetime with you at my side and to see where this crazy life takes us. We've had a lot of fun the last few years, being friends to dating to engaged. I'm really excited to build a life together, and I love you and will love you forever and ever.
AJ, our day is finally here. I am so grateful to finally be your wife and get to spend the rest of our lives together. I can't wait to see what the future holds for both of us. I love you so much.
To all our friends and family, thank you for always being there for us. We've loved all of our experience with all of you. We're excited to build more as time goes on. We're glad everyone can make it, and thank you.
Especially our parents, Jeff and Amy. You have raised the man of my dreams, and I'm so grateful for that. And my parents, thank you for everything as well. And we definitely wouldn't be here without either of our parents. So thank you.
I'm gonna love you till the end of time, because a love like ours is hard to find. Yeah, a love like ours is hard